Okay, so once all of your Fall 2 data are posted in CalPads, again, we need to go through the next process, right? Which is the certification process. We have here, just we have here the a submission, which then where you submitted all of your files and posted all of the records, resolved any IVRs. Once that is done, we then proceed to the certification error resolution, where you have to resolve any lingering cert errors and any active CDDs that might be triggering. Then once you've resolved those and brought down your fatal errors to zero, then that's when the only time when you should be reviewing your reports, because it doesn't make sense for you guys to just looking at your reports without resolving errors, because some of those errors will then impact how your reports are. Okay. And then once you have reviewed the reports, again, you need to approve your certification. So good news is for Fall 2, there's only one certification approval, and that's just the LA approval. You don't need a SELPA approval to be certified. So all the control is on you guys, okay? So let's move on to the certification process. Before we discuss or we do demo, there are some training videos that you guys could refer to at the YouTube channel. You have your CalPAS validation errors, as well as the certification errors, and you have the certification process and snapshot revisions, okay? And then also we have the CalPAS user manual. If you go to certification status, and go to certification status LEA, then you'll see the overall process on how to go through the certification. Okay, so let's bring up our page here. So we are using our test environment. So please bear with me if some of this, if it, for some reason it becomes slow or some issues just come up without I mean, if there are delays, because we are in the test environment, this is our developers, this is our developers playground too. So all the codes, this is basically the wild west of CalPads. So yeah, so we go to certification, and then you should have, of course, your certification status. Click on Fall 2. It brings you to this, which is the Fall 2 search status. And then, of course, you have to resolve your errors. So for fatal errors, you have here are always our ubiquitous CERT4, and then CERT5s, and then all of these faulty-related CERT errors. So let's first discuss how to resolve this common error, CERT084. Okay. If you click on this button here, for those who are still not aware, it brings you to an error list version in the user manual, which provides you more detailed information on how to resolve specific errors. Okay. So for CERT084, it's just stating that there's no staff assignment for demographics. Okay. This happens when you submit a staff demographic file for a staff member. However, there are no staff assignments reported for this current academic year. So one example is this, Miss Elizabeth Hoover. So she has an active demographic record this year. However, she does not have an assignment record assigned to her. So let's say there are two common scenarios why CERT084 happened. The common one is that you have an actively employed staff member this year, but you're missing their staff assignment record for 2022-2023. So if that's if that's the case, then by all means just submit the staff assignment like this one here, and report their job classification, and that should resolve your CERT 84. Now another common reason why you're getting a CERT 84 is because this normally also happens to staff members who left last year, but for some reason you've already ended their employment in the demographic record, but CalPAS is still triggering a CERT 84. When does that normally happen? So it normally happens in this same scenario here. So as you can see, you've already we've already submitted an employment end date for the staff member. However, a new demographic record exists with an open effective end date, meaning which renders this demographic record as an active demo record for the staff member. This normally triggers when, in the course of you submitting the employment end date, you also populated the record effective end date. Since the staff demographic file is a belief transaction processing or effective processing, whenever you populate the record effective end date of a demographic record, CalPAS will automatically create a new record with a day with an effective end date a day after you've ended that effective end date. So how do you correct a CERT 84 for staff members who are no longer employed? The easy fix is by opening up the record when the staff member has that employment end date. Open it, clear the record effective end date. Just clear this and make sure that you only have the employment end date in there. Okay. Once you post that, CalPAS will automatically delete the record ahead of it. Okay. So what will appear after you've successfully posted the record is that this will be empty, this will be gone, the first line will be gone, and you only have the employment end date. Okay. That's how you resolve a CERT 84 for staff members who are no longer employed. And to avoid this, of course, when you submit your staff file, SDM file in CalPADS, just populate the employment end date. Do not, in your SIS, don't populate the record effective end date. Otherwise, your entire SDM file will generate CERT 84s for your staff members who are no longer employed. Okay? So that's for CERT 84. Okay? And then if you have additional questions on that, you can always watch the video here. This was a recorded demo as well from last year's reporting and certification. And then we also have a table of common errors and what to look for each error. Okay, so that's CERT 84. The next one is CERT 48. CERT 48 only occurs for staff members who were reported as teachers. It will not trigger for pupil services. It will not trigger for admin credentialed folks. It will only trigger for staff members who were reported as teachers but do not have either a non-classroom based assignment code or course section assigned to them. Okay, so we scroll down to this CERT 48. So again, in this table, you have the SDM is present, the SASS is present, and this has 12, 26, or 27 in it. However, either the seed is not assigned to a course or the course exists, however, it's not the correct school of assignment reported for the SAS. So meaning if you submitted a course for the staff member, it should correlate to the same school of assignment. Okay? Otherwise, you trigger both CERT 48 and CERT 47. So let's look at one of the staff members who would trigger that. So we have here a new staff member, Micheline Starr. Micheline Starr was employed this year, and she is a teacher of record. And so you submitted their staff demographic record. You submitted their assignment showing that the teacher is assigned at Emerson Elementary. Now, the CERT048 triggered because the teacher was not reported to a course, or if the teacher is not assigned to a non-classroom job, then you have to at least populate the non-classroom job code. So two questions when you have a CERT048. Is the teacher teaching a class? If yes, by all means, assign the seed of that teacher to the course and submit the course. Okay. If the teacher is not handling any classes, let's say you have a TOSA, or you have, let's say, a teacher who's just a substitute teacher, a long-term sub, and is not assigned to any class, then by all means update the staff assignment by either resubmitting the staff assignment file for that specific school with the correct non-classroom job assignment codes, or just going to the specific staff assignment record that's causing the issue and adding, let's say, day-to-day substitute 6014. Okay. And then post, and that should resolve your CERT048. Again, CERT048 only happens for teachers, either a 12, 26, or 27. So make sure that you assign them to a course or report a non-classroom job code assignment for them. That's for CERT048. That's CERT048. Now, let's move on to CERT047. CERT047 is the opposite, meaning you've assigned the staff member to a class, to a course. However, you did not report the staff assignment for that teacher. Okay, so let's look at CERT047. Again, the links that Marshall is posting here is actually also directly linked here. So if you play this, you'll go straight to CERT047. And if you want to have a list of all of this, it should be in the YouTube channel. Okay. So CERT047 is just stating that, hey, a course section includes a seed for which there is no valid teaching assignment information. Okay. There are two reasons for this. Number one, you failed to submit the staff assignment of that teacher, maybe because you submitted the CRSE first before submitting the staff assignment file. So it's just sometimes a timing issue. If that's the case, then wait for your staff assignment file to get posted. Wait for for a new snapshot, and that should clear your errors. Now, sometimes you would see that, okay, the staff assignment is reported for this staff member. We also have a course. So what's the deal? Sometimes it's because the staff assignment is not at the same school that the course is reported in. Okay. So make sure that the school matches the course and the school of assignment. Okay. So let's look at one student here, or one staff member. So let's look at this. So this staff member, who's this? Sandwich hamburger. Okay. Hamburger sandwich has a course. Okay, see, we have here the courses. We have the reporting LA. We have the school course of delivery. However, there are no staff assignments reported for them at Berkeley High. Okay, so you have to report a teacher job staff assignment job classification of 12, 26, or 27 at Berkeley High to resolve a CERT047. So again, CERT047 is just the inverse of CERT048. The seed was assigned to the course, however, there was no assignment. Now, CERT048 is that you have a job classification, You have a staff assignment of 12, 26, 27. However, there is no course in here. Or if you have a staff assignment here, the school course of delivery does not match the school of assignment. Oh, that's Nate's idea. I guess he was making this demo teachers when during lunch break. That's how creative Nate is. When you see food, he probably did this during his lunch break.
Okay.
Okay, so that's for Cert 48. Now, do we have any questions on that? Cert 47, Cert 48? No? Okay, moving on. So the next two errors, Cert 77 and Cert 79, are related to courses. So Cert 79 normally happens when you essentially report a staff member to a course. However, there are no students rostered for that class, meaning the SCSE file is missing. Okay, Cert 79. So you have here the course, you have here the SCSE. These are the ones that are being looked at. So when the Cert 79 happen, Cert 79 happens when you did not submit your SCSE file or your SCSE file is missing a roster for a class that was reported. So that's just it. Now, there is a another scenario when this happens. Sometimes you really don't have to report SCSE records for classes that are itinerant. Nate mentioned PE, band. If that's the case, then the problem is not the SCSE. The problem is that you did not properly report the staff member's job classification. If a job classification is, let's see, look at Cert 79 here. If a Cert 79 triggered and you reported the teacher as a 12 or 26, then Cert 79 will occur. You only, okay, let's see here. So if you have here Venus Pluto, okay, so see how if this class here is an itinerant class, then by all means you have to report a job classification of 27. Okay, you have to report a job classification of 27. That way it would exempt you from rostering the students in those classes. Cert 79 will trigger for staff members assigned to courses who are preschools. So the question is, why are you even reporting courses for preschools to begin with? Okay. Then number two, this happens for your special ed students, those on RSP. So sometimes you have an RSP 9231 course. However, the teacher reported was not reported with a job classification 27. So it was a 12. So to fix that, just replace the 12 with a 27. So the Goldilocks scenario for itinerant staff members is the staff assignment job classification should be a 27. They should be assigned to that itinerant class. And then you don't have to report the SCSC file. Okay. That would avoid a Cert 79. Okay. Now, Cert 77 is the opposite, meaning it's more towards the student. You have a primary enrolled student, but they are not rostered in a class. So you would think, okay, you have a 10, you have a 30 student, but they are not assigned to a class. So by all means, assign them to a class by submitting the SCSE file, or if you're just trying to add a few students or you're just manually trying to resolve a few Cert 79s, you really don't need to resubmit your entire SCSE file because that might mess up your data. You just have to go here, go to online maintenance, go to course data, locate the course section ID that is missing students, or for Cert 79, locate 77, locate the Identify what classes the student should be in, and then go here to course data, filter for the course section ID, do that, or better yet, just filter here, course section ID, and you have these two, right? And now you just have to add the students here. Just click on student course section and then assign the SSID to that class. That's just if you only have a handful of CERT 79s you have to resolve. Okay, just add a student, then assign the SSID of the student here. This will resolve the CERT 77, and if a class is missing in a roster, then it would also clear your CERT 79. Okay, so that's how to clear your CERT 77, CERT 79. And then you have here CERT 5. CERT 5 occurs when the student is not enrolled on census day, but you mistakenly assign them to a class. You rostered them to a class. So you have the student assigned with an SCSC to a class, but the SCNR is not overlapping census day. Okay. So how do you resolve this? If the student was present on census day, ensure that the enrollment overlaps census day. There should be an active enrollment on census day. Now, if the student started after census day, you have to delete the SCSE record because you can't report a student to be attending classes on census day if they're not even enrolled. Let's look at one here. Elroy Jetson. So for this, you submitted a SCSC in 22-23. However, the student enrolled after census day. If the student really started after census day, remove this course. However, you can do this on the student side. Again, you have to go to the course data section, identify the course section ID. See this? You go to course data. Okay. You go to course data, locate the course section that was triggering the CERT 5. Go to course section here, filter. And you have here, and then go to student course section. Since this is S1, and this is where you delete these students. So all three students triggering the CERT 5 are here. And it's based on different scenarios. Okay. So for the first student, they enrolled after census day, and so you have to delete the enrollment. For the second student, the student was not even enrolled at all. So if that's the case, you have to delete the student's SCSE from course data as well. And then for the third, they left before census day. And so again, delete the enrollment. Okay. Okay, so that's how to resolve your common CERT 77 CERT errors for fall 2. Again, this is not all of the scenarios. There are maybe weird scenarios that require you to do critical thinking. Maybe you would say, do we even have to report the students, right? You have to go back to the business rules of who should be reported. And sometimes the answer would be even simpler than it seems. So before I pass on the presentation to Nate, do we have additional questions on CERT 47, or do you have some scenarios that was not addressed in here? Yeah, we also have known issues. Again, if let's say you can go to the CalPADS user manual. You can go to the CalPADS user manual and type your error. So let's say SCSC 139F2. So we go here, and then you have those in there. Okay, SCSC 139, and then if to check if you have known issues, pretty sure that would have updated. But SSU 139F2 is also a defect right now. So if you have that and you couldn't figure out why, send in a ticket so we can identify if it's a defect or not. Okay, so I don't see any questions raised there, or maybe you guys already answered it. So I'm passing on the mic back to Nate. And yep, there you go. Matt and Marshall, Eminem have been busy answering in the chat.
Yep. Thank you, Matt and Marshall. We appreciate it.